Well, hello everyone. Good evening. Hello there everyone, good evening. We are now live for Monday mini makes. And of course, Magnus chooses exactly that moment to be really noisy and drink his water. But anyway, hello. This one I've been asked for this evening is hand lettering. So we're going to be doing some fancy schmancy writing this evening, or having a go at it anyway. Now I am not necessarily the best person at this. I would consider myself artistic, if I'm honest, but my bullet journals aren't typically very artsy. I do quite like making sure that my front page of my bullet journals are artistic, and possibly the beginning of my months, but that's it. So we're going to start by having a quick look back at two previous bullet journals. If I move my pencils out of the way, I just put them there for some sort of interest while I was waiting. So this one is my 2018 journal cover. You can see I've got a range of writing here. This one was actually shamelessly copied from the internet. It's not actually mine at all, but I copied it, had a go, was quite pleased with it. So it says she believed she could, so she did. You can see I've got different banners there, different writing styles. 2018 best year ever. There we go. Now, if we have a look at 2019, I've gone with the same banner again, but I've mixed it up this time, choosing to do my own writing. You can see it's not particularly even, but it's not too bad either. And again, different fonts going on there and experimenting with different designs. And then if we open up, you can see my headings of different pages as different fonts as well. So we're going to be working in this bullet journal just because I've got loads of spare pages that I haven't used. You don't have to be working in a bullet journal to be doing hand lettering. You can just be doing it in plain paper if you like. And I'm going to start with some really basic ones, things that I've done before. Okay, so the first thing to start with is something called faux calligraphy, and it literally does what it says on the tin. It's fake calligraphy. You're trying to make yourself look clever, basically. Now, the idea behind fake calligraphy is really super simple. You do your normal writing. Now, I have to write at an angle. I can't write any other way, I'm afraid, folks. Let's see if we can get this to focus a little. Come on. It doesn't seem to want to, does it? There we are. Okay, it's probably going to wobble for a second now. Right, so faux calligraphy, you write as usual, but you leave an extra gap between each one, and then you do an extra downstroke for each one. This is not showing up particularly well in felt tip. Let's try it in something else. Let's try it in a fine liner. Nope, that's still a felt tip. Where's my fine liners gone? Okay, maybe we'll try it in pencil. So you write as normal, leaving extra space between each letter, as you can see here. And then each time you get a downstroke, you add to it. It's as simple as that, really. I mean, I've exaggerated the spaces between, and then you would just shade that in there. Okay, that's in print, obviously. In an ideal world, we would do this in cursive. Now, I'm not very good at, I'm really not very good at writing joined up, but I'm going to give it a go. No, well, I'm just doing this in my bullet journal, Jess. Welcome, by the way, to Monday Mini Makes. This is just my bullet journal. You don't have to have special paper. You can do it in plain paper. I just, for the purposes of this, decided to do it on this today. So let's start with another word now. Let's start by writing the word time. And you can see I've exaggerated again the space between the letters. Now what we're going to do is turn this into our faux calligraphy by each time we see a downstroke adding something extra, okay? And then you'll get it here as well. Okay, so that's the second stage. And the third stage would then obviously to be just to colour that in, to give the illusion of calligraphy. There you go. There's your calligraphy illusion. All right, so just have a play around and write some different things. Let's see if we can get this to focus again. Come on, focus on the paper, thank you. So there you go, time is of the essence. So again, every time we find a downstroke, we'll just add to that and colour it in. This isn't going to be perfect, I'm just playing around here. Julia says, just spent ages wondering why I couldn't hear you, had headphones plugged into the laptop. Yeah, that will do it. That will do it. So every time you see a downstroke, down we go. And then we're going up here, so our downstroke is here. And again, we just colour in this bit here. And then again here. Just like to say a quick thank you to people who've already ordered a Christmas Eve box. They only actually went live on my website projectbag.co.uk about 10 minutes ago, and I've already, some of them, well, a few of them have already gone. It's just blown me away, really. I'm very, very excited by this. Time is of the essence. I love doing this, use it all the time. Hello, I'm assuming you're Laura. Lovely to see you. So for people on YouTube who won't be able to see the chat, I'm doing this in real time on twitch.tv/the project bag, which is where you can find me should you want to. But I am chatting to people viewing in real time at this moment, but of course this won't show up on the YouTubes, so yeah. Right, here we go, it's my downstroke. Just makes it a little bit more interesting, really. There we go. All right, so there's number one, faux calligraphy. Oh my goodness, wow, that's amazing. Okay, I didn't know about that one, Jess. Oh wow, this is incredible. Thank you so much, guys. Right, so number one is faux calligraphy. Let's move on to number two. We're not just going to do lettering, we're going to do other bits as well. We're going to think about borders and markers and banners and all that sort of thing. Okay, so let's start with a banner this time. All right, so your basic banner, again, I'm going to do all of this freehand. We'll start off with typically a rectangle, not always. And if this is messy, well, it's because it's freehand and that's fine. This is your simplest one, so I'm offsetting by about half of one of my squares. And then coming down again by about half one of my squares. And then you've got your little triangle there. And there you've got your illusion of a 3D banner because of your little shaded triangle down here. So we start with the rectangle, then we add the bannery bits, the ribbons, and then we add that. We can of course have variations on the theme. You can have it curved, same difference, same sort of thing. If you want a banner on there. Okay, so that's another sort of banner. The next thing we might like to try is perhaps a laurel wreath. Laurel wreaths are quite popular for writing in and around. So the first step for your laurel wreath, let's get a different colour at the moment. Let's try, I know I've said laurel, but I'm going to go off piste and do it in blue because, actually no, I think I've got dark green here, that'll do. Looks like very dark green, we'll see. Alright, so the next step is to try a laurel wreath. So we're just going to start off with a curved line, nice and simple. Then what we want is a little kind of teardrop shape on the very end of the line. Have I got this where you can actually see it? Yeah, let's move it up slightly. And then what we're going to do is down the line, we're going to start drawing heart shapes at various points. And again, they don't have to be uniform. In fact, it's often better if they're not uniform looking, because otherwise, I don't know, it just doesn't look real, really. And there you go. There's a really super simple laurel wreath. You can have them all the same size, or you could choose to have them bigger at one end and getting smaller as you get towards the top. That's a possibility. It's my first Christmas box. Oh, that's so exciting! Oh goodness. Well, the designers have already got the yarn, the mystery yarn. That the one arrived in Sweden just on Friday, and they've started work. As far as I'm aware, they haven't told me anything particularly about what they're doing, so it's very exciting for me as well. But they're pleased with the yarn. They say they can do lots with it, which is really good. Okay, so there's one. Let's try a vine now, shall we? Let's try a vine. I'm going to go back to this green at this point. And I'm going to start very similarly to how I did before with drawing the basic line first of all. Now this is going to be really super simple. Okay, so we've started with a curl, and then at the top we've got another curl, not that you can see that at the moment. And then around this we're going to, at various points, start adding leaves, and these ones are this time going to be stepped. They're not going to be necessarily equal, although having said that, I think I'm going to put oops, sorry, send you flying. Maybe let's have a little flower here or something, but you get the idea. Okay, and you just have this going up. All the way. Again, not too uniform. You get the idea. And there we have a vine coming. Okay, so why do we want to do vines and banners and that sort of thing? Because to putting things inside them, basically, for want of a better reason. I mean, there are all sorts of leaves and wreaths and things you can do. So for example, let's start with a kind of wiry look. Right, now see, that looks like a bunch of wires, and we can easily just put some of those heart shapes we were talking about earlier around them. That's a nice variation on a theme there. Or you could do one that is more uniform and just have a couple of lines coming off of it to make it look like an actual wreath. If I move this up again, and we can go really super organised with this one. Could make it into like a, not a holly wreath, but a berry wreath perhaps. Okay. It's fun to put titles and things in these, and then you just colour it in, shade it different shades of green. Okay. So those are some things that you might like to put, like, I don't know, around the outside of your writing. So if we were to have a go, we could do, let's take a banner. Tell you what, let's take a banner, and I'm going to do a banner in felt tip at this point. Okay. And I'm going to do a nice curved one, because that's what I fancy working with at the moment. Okay, so there we are. Got the start of our banner. And let's do some writing in there. Why don't we have there you go, mini makes, and we'll find our downstrokes. And just colour those in. Again, it's not particularly neat, so there you go, we've got mini makes in our banner. And let's try some different fonts here. Let's try something else out. What do I want to do? Let's do something similar but different. How about that? We're going to go with a printed word this time. And we're going to print it nice and big. There you go, there's my letter. My word, sorry, with. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to add a double line to one side of each letter. It's very similar to what we've just done with calligraphy, but rather than focusing just on downstrokes, it's just on one side of each letter. So it's the same side, okay? And now we're going to colour that in. There you go, so you've got mini makes with. Let's think about some different fonts. I think we're going to go tall and thin at this point. Tall and thin, why not? And let's go with purple. Totally just normal writing really at this point. It's just tall and thin. And then we'll have dots on the end. And then we'll go back to tall and thin again, I think. So you can see the different effects you can get without really doing anything too complicated. I mean, you can do this with uppercase and lowercase as well. So if we go back and look at the more elongated one, you'd have see, quite elongated in style. You transfer that to there we go. See? And it's all very close together and quite thin. And these bits are more pronounced. See, quite long. So there's another one. Let's have a look and see what else we can come up with. Now, you could have, let's see, let's have overlapping letters. Let's try that. Let's try and have our letters overlapping each other and looking all funky. At this point I'm going to reach for a felt tip because it's easiest to show you with felt tip, I think. Let's try this. We're going to just write the letters, allowing them to overlap. All right. So I'm not very good at this one, so let's have a go. Let's try that. Okay, so the next step would be to outline the letters, I guess, to give it that definition. So you take a fine liner, or in my case a pencil, because it's what I have to hand. And at this point you outline your letters. I'm going to go across here like that. There you go. So we could try that again with another one. Why not? Let's try this. Now this might be harder because I've actually managed to do it in a really dark grey, which was really quite stupid of me, but hey ho. Let's see if I can make this still stand out. Don't know if I will be able to, but we'll see. It'd be easier if I had a pen, but I don't have one to hand. I've been watching The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt and I have got the theme tune to that series well and truly stuck in my head at the moment. Yeah, I'm not really managing to define this very well. Grey on grey was perhaps not the most sensible way of doing it, but you get the idea. I mean, that's quite a fun one to do with the letters overlapping. So yeah, I mean, we've got on this page alone now, we've got a few different examples here. Let's see what else we can do. Let's stick with the idea of, oh, sorry, knock you about again. Let's stick with the idea of the word love. Okay, let's stick with that. And I'm going to use the side of my brush pen here. And deliberately do it quite thick. And then what you could do is then write across it. Let me see if I can find a way of doing this. So you've got love conquers all across there. So that's one example. I could have used a paler. Let's try it with a paler one. I think this is paler. This is just a Crayola. And we could do it. Let's try it with our black pencil again, or a different colour pencil. Let's go with black. Yeah, I mean, you get the idea. And you could blend your techniques there. You could use your faux calligraphy with that one if you wanted. Okay, love conquers all. So that's a layering one. Let's have a look at different types of shadow now. I'm going to go for probably another sort of 10-15 minutes. Let's move this, let's turn the page, start a new page, which is always fun. I love starting new pages. Now, we could start with, let's start with the word hello here. Or even just hi at this point. So there's your basic hi. Let's try, actually I wonder if I could do it like this. This might work better. There you go, hi. Now what we could do is do just lines. To build the shadow in. We'll go with Let's go with this one. We could box it out entirely. You could choose to just do the shadow. On this side, which again would give a different effect. You could choose just to draw a line that's not touching. And these are all super simple at this point. We could go a step further with that. Don't really like the effect of that one myself, to be honest with you. We could have a look at we could have a look at combining and having shadows as well. So let's go back to our kind of pale pink. There you go, there's the word inspire. That's always a bit of fun. Now let's just go around that very, very lightly. Now in ideal world you'd be using a thin black marker for this. I haven't got a thin black marker, so I'm going to use my trusty black pencil. So you are just tracing around your own pen marks at the moment. Yeah, I must admit it's quite ironic really that I'm doing this, because I do tend to stick to the same ones. Actually, my current bullet journal, which I don't have to hand to show you, only uses 2 types. I've kept it really minimal and simple this year, and actually is getting more use, to be honest with you, than the old 2 did. I mean, the fact is I'm just merrily using a bunch of pages of my old bullet journal from 2019 to do this in, because I didn't do anywhere near as much as what I should. Right, okay, so then we take, we're going to add some grey shadow lines at this point. Let me just see which one I want to use. Okay, so I'm going to have my shadows to the right hand side. And there you go. There's your writing with a shadow line. Let's try another one of those because I'm quite enjoying this one. Same thing again. Do your letters in your felt tip, whatever you've got that you want to use. Go around the edge of your felt tip lines. Don't try and tidy up your letters, as it actually doesn't look as good if you try and tidy them up. I'm using a black pencil, but you could use just a biro would do. I just don't happen to have one to hand. I do quite often use biros in my bullet journaling and hand lettering. I'll show you some more of my bits and pieces shortly. I will be doing a monthly spread video for June this week and showing you how I set up for my month. And my month title pages are the ones where I do allow myself to be a little bit more creative. Not much, but I think if I tried to keep every day super creative, then I wouldn't actually get much done. All right, so here we go. So you can see how effective that is already. I'm going to stick to having my shadows on the left. Sorry, on the right, as though the light's coming from the left. And it's just one teensy stroke of the felt tip pen, and that just does the trick quite nicely. There you go. Let's go with one more word, shall we? Inspire, create, enjoy. Excuse my cat who's enjoying his dinner quite noisily beside us. You don't have to stop eating, sweet pea. You can carry on if you want. He's just shot me the filthiest look after I said that. About him being noisy. Now he's stomping at the cat flap in a huff, which you may be able to hear. There we go. Same again. Line of shadow. My battery's telling me it's about to go as well, so even more reason it's time to go. Inspire, create, enjoy. I have very much enjoyed my time with you this evening. I hope that you have too, and that this has given you some ideas for hand lettering. As I said, I'm not an expert. I am just enjoying playing around with it a bit, which is kind of wants to focus. Come on, focus, please. There we go. Inspire, create, enjoy. As I say, I hope you've really enjoyed yourself this evening and have seen some new ideas, something to do, something to play with. I will see you very, very soon for another Monday mini makes. I'm not sure yet whether it will be next Monday or if we're going to carry on weekly, or if I'm going to start stepping back and doing it fortnightly. I'd love to have your input and know what you'd like to do. I've had requests for more paper flowers already. But yeah, let me know. have a great evening, guys, wherever you are. Stay safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay indoors, all of that jazz. And I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.